Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Imana Amawe. Coming up on the program today, National Assembly holds special summits to discuss security situation in the country. The Department of Petroleum Resources continues to monitor fuel situation across the 36 states and Abuja. And Equatorial Guinea is the latest partner of the Cross River State government as it wooes investors. Welcome to the program that brings you news from the length and breadth of Nigeria. The presidency has finally thrown its weight behind the creation of state police. This has been confirmed by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, at the commencement of a National Security Summit by federal lawmakers in Abuja. The two-day security summit is being convened as a matter of urgency and is intended to seek solutions to the escalating threat to the peace and security. Vice President Osinbajo is representing President Muhammadu Buhari at the summit. He described as untrue insinuations in some quarters that the president is ignoring the killings by headsmen because he is Fulani. The vice president also warned stakeholders not to allow the conflict between farmers and headsmen assume ethnic and religious dimensions. Well, our National Assembly correspondent Linda Akigbe joins us on the program. Linda, thank you for joining us. Well, this is a very, very important security summit taking place right now. Apart from state policing, could you also shed some light on some issues that are likely to be discussed during the course of this summit?
Okay, yes. The security conference is a two-day one, and we've seen lots of policy makers and stakeholders from security organizations there. And, they're all looking at solutions to the alarming security challenges in the country. State police, as you know, is one of the major things that the Vice President said. And he's also, it's not in isolation. He's also talking about how to increase the numbers of the police force, which he acknowledges is quite, below standards and what is required, and also how to improve funding for police and other security agencies. That was a key point in what he was trying to say. And he also, tried to allay fears as regards some insinuations in some quarters that President Buhari, the Fulani man, is not interested or is not affected by, what's happening as regards the headsmen and farmers clashes. And he's saying, no, that this is not true. And the president is really, really, really affected. He's really, really mindful of the sufferings of people, and he's working to tackle that. So we've seen discussions, and discussions are continuing. I would continue on Monday on, how to address this. And the whole aim is for the stakeholders to build a consensus, which is very critical at this point, on what must be done to address the security challenges in the country.
All right, Linda, apart from saying that reports or speculations are untrue that President Buhari is not giving the due attention to the headsmen farmers crisis, was there any clear-cut statement directed towards the crisis, the crisis situation, especially in Benue State and other neighboring states, over the headsmen situation from the Vice President?
Well, that they have gone into a closed-door meeting. It was just the opening that we're privy to. Now they've gone into the closed-door meeting where they're going to. I learned that the different security agencies are going to give security briefs so that the stakeholders, the lawmakers, everybody there would understand what the issues are. First of all. So at the end, it's going to be at the end of the discussion before we really would know the specifics of how they intend to address this issue. But for now, we're just going by what the Vice President said and what the Senate President said, which he said was that, security issues, this kind of problem cannot be handled alone by the presidency. It would need every person at different levels of government keening to find solutions to the problem.
All right, thank you very much, Linda Akigbe, our National Assembly correspondent, for joining us on the program. Moving on now, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has reiterated that he's not sponsoring a candidate to contest the 2019 presidential elections. He says his coalition for the Nigeria movement remains non-partisan and would be ready to pull out any moment it's drifting towards partisan politics. He made the comment in Abuja, the Ogun State capital, where he also canvassed for real-time grassroots participation as a solution to some of the political challenges in the country. Failure of which he said the country may repeat the same mistakes that could stiffen and stifle development.
When we continue to do the same thing that has not paid us or served us well in the past, and we expect a different result, I think Einstein said that is height of folly. We should stop being foolish and try and do things differently so that we can achieve the right result, a different result from what we have achieved in the past. For me, when the time comes and people are choosing what political offices they will want to take, I will wish everybody the best of luck. But of course, you know that I have no political office that I will want to take. And I have no candidate for any political office. No candidate.
Former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo. Now, the Department of Petroleum Resources has continued to enforce sale of premium motor spirit at 145 naira per litre. Enforcement officers were seen in various parts of the country sanctioning fuel stations that were caught selling above the regulated price and hoarding the product.
The fuel queues experienced during the Yuletide and very early in the year may have disappeared in some states. But that does not stop the officials of the Department for Petroleum Resources from carrying out their duties. That is, monitoring to ensure fuel stations play by the rules. And for those who fall short, like some in Ogun State, the agency has imposed sanctions of 100,000 naira for hoarding, under dispensing and selling above the approved pump price.
In DPR, we are committed to ensure that the public get the right measures and also value for the money they pay.
Listen, let me tell you something. If you think you will not know.
Some stations in Delta State are also sanctioned for falling short of expectation. The DPR boss is not comfortable with the situation in Kano State, where fuel is sold above 200 naira per litre and queues still linger. In Plateau, it is a combined effort of men of DPR and of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. It records some success as an illegal depot is discovered.
Anybody selling above 145, anybody again that is selling to the black marketer, we are against it because this is what federal government doesn't want.
Katsina State is no stranger to sanctions. Not less than 13 stations have been shut down between January and now. Motorists tell tales of their frustrations.
I know they know they Dora, I put a CJ, and they know they said the they go lock the field station and they will say no day. After they see the people no day, they go come they said the
In Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, not less than 15 stations have been sealed in a period of 2 weeks. That is the punishment for, among other offences, selling the product for between 170 and 200 naira. Beyond just sanctions, the DPR in Niger State considers dialogue as a lasting solution.
For many of them are happy today because those that don't have license, when we came here, we tried to really make them to comply, and a lot of them are happy today because they have got their license.
We would like to beg the government to bring product at our primary depot. That one will assist us better.
The effort of the men of the DPR may be yielding results in Cross River State, as residents now heave a sigh of relief.
I was buying 200 for that free station, but when I pass here, I see nobody in the free station. I went there, I see for a normal price.
It is the same story in Borno State, where motorists laud the efforts of men of the DPR.
We used to buy that 190, 185. But fortunately for us today, with your presence here in this filling station, it has gone down to 145.
As the monitoring, sanctions, conversations and other moves to end the crisis continue, the hope of the end user is that they will yield results that make getting the products much easier and for the approved price.
Well, while the monitoring of distribution and sales of petrol continues, the DPR says the scarcity can be reduced if the product is duly dispensed to customers. Details in a moment.